Salam sejahtera dan selamat petang. Salam sejahtera.
Selamat sejahtera.
Thank you. Welcome to our collaborative group global learning session, which is a refresher session brought to you by Center for Innovative Delivery and Learning Development, UITM. And I'm Oswald Timothy Edward, and I'm the fellow for Global Learning Collaborative Group in UITM. The refresher series for today is to look at the what exactly is this global learning under the collaborative group, and we'll try to share a bit on the understanding of global learning and its relevance, and to understand why we do it here, and some examples of global learning sessions. Since this is just a refresher series, the period of our webinar is only 1 hour, because we would like you to join our other webinar, which is on IoT, Internet of Things, which will be held at 3 p.m. So I'll try to make it short and sweet and short, so that you will be able to join the other refresher series for under Internet of Things. Yeah. Collaborative group of global learning is under the Center for Innovative Delivery and Learning Development, CIDL, which is headed by our very own Associate Professor Dr. Zainuddin. And we have about 3 permanent staffs under the CIDL team. And our collaborative groups consist of several what do you call that, innovative teaching and learning development, which actually try to assist lecturers in the delivery and learning with technologies and Internet of Things for our students. And our team for global learning consists of myself as the fellow, and Juliana Munchar from Academy of Pengajian Bahasa, and Associate Professor Dr. Siti Hafsyah Idris from Faculty of Law. And we have what we call the copyright of our, this is an innovation actually, on teaching and learning innovation. And for a start, we must stop thinking that global education means going somewhere, so much so that global learning can occur in our own classroom, because we are thinking about students who are underserved. So I think majority of our students are considered to be the underserved students, whereby we have no access to fund or financial assistance to bring them out to do global learning outside of our classroom, like educational visit outside of Malaysia, or student exchange outside of Malaysia. Even if we can do that, it will only give privileges to some 20 to 30 students at a time, or in a semester, or in a year, perhaps. So then what will happen to the 90% of our students who are not able to go out of this country to learn and to experience the cultural or outside of the box, out of the box kind of classroom setting outside of Malaysia. So that's why we are thinking that if we can have this innovative teaching in our classroom called global learning, perhaps we will be able to bring in someone from outside of Malaysia to our classroom through online classroom, or ODL, which is not physically bringing them in, but by all means, if we can bring them in, if we have fund or access of financial enough assistance to bring them in, then that would be preferable. So why global learning is important? So actually, I'm sharing my slides. Is that showing? Is my slide showing? So the points here is to understand why global learning is relevant in a classroom, because it is mentioned stated in Malaysian Higher Education Blueprint, and it is one of the high impact education practices, HIPS by Mohi, and Education 5.0 in UiTM as well. So I'll leave these slides to you for you to go through later. But I just want to emphasize here that global learning, because of behalf of uh, uh, diverse experience, which perhaps students are not privileged enough to get or gain in the classroom, but by bringing in someone from outside, they will bring in their perspectives, and for the students to think about and open up for discussion maybe in the classroom. So that's why it is we feel that it's important to bring this kind of input to the classroom, virtually perhaps. Okay, and it is also mentioned here in MOE and Education 5.0. Okay, so in UITM, um, well, of course, we are dedicated to equipping our students and, of course, educators with the tools and opportunities necessary to thrive in an increasingly globalized world. So the institution emphasizes on global learning, forms of as a key component of its strategic vision under this Education 5.0. This forward-thinking educational approach aims to provide well-rounded entrepreneurial graduates who are both globally competent and adaptable in diverse professional environment. So, well, global learning in UITM represent a dynamic, borderless educational experience that incorporates international perspectives into the teaching and learning process, like I mentioned earlier on. So it is not confined to physical boundaries, but is instead driven by collaborative, technology-based initiative that facilitate the exchange of ideas, cultures, and knowledge across continents. So it is in the same what they call it, objectives with our collaborative teaching, because we will collaborate with someone from outside of Malaysia. Um, it could be from the industry and it could be from other universities to come over to a classroom virtually. So that's why I mentioned about technology-based initiatives, because we can cut cost of bringing our students out or bringing in the speakers from outside of a country to Malaysia or to our classroom, and we'll have a limited um, number of audience if it is physically held. But if you have an online session with them, the collaborative teaching will open up will be open up to a bigger scale of audience, so that and as I said just now, many will benefit from this global learning session. So I believe there are some courses which still have this ODL concept or ODL approach in the class, especially the blended learning, where we have open and distance learning, what they call it, strategy in a classroom. So we can bring in this component of global learning or global learning session into that ODL or blended learning session in our classroom. The objective, uh, well, of course, in UITM, the main objective, the primary goals of having this global learning is actually to of course develop global competencies, which is preparing students with the skills, knowledge, and mindset required to work effectively in a multicultural and international setting, in line with our globally renowned university and locally. And then, of course, enhancing educational quality with a hope that we will be able to elevate the overall quality of education through the exposure of diverse perspective and perhaps innovative teaching methodologies. So global learning could be one of it to be brought into our class. And of course, building international networks, which is very interesting because it can create opportunities for us as educators and also for the students to form lasting professional relationship that extend beyond local boundaries or local borders. And global learning also, I mean, we also hope that our global learning initiative or session uh, to foster critical and creative thinking, which will encourage learners to approach problems, students to approach problems with global outlook and devise solutions that consider multiple viewpoints. That could be interesting for us to discuss with the students in our classroom. So in education, as I mentioned earlier on, in education 5.0 at UITM, global learning signifies a transformative leap in teaching and learning practices, which is trying to prioritize values such as empathy, ethics, and of course entrepreneurial skills. So these are some of the some of the values that we will emphasize probably in our session with the speakers from outside of Malaysia in our global learning setting in the classroom. So much so to say that global learning aligns perfectly with these values, which emphasize, like, for example, the first one I mentioned about empathy. Uh, that is through cultural exchange and international collaboration, students develop a deeper understanding of global challenges and the diversity of human experiences. You know, like, say for example, I have had this session with a speaker from a university in Nigeria. So they speak about the working conditions over there and the social um, the problems over there, and and after that we can use that experience, or we can use that um, you know um, enlightenment from them and discuss in the class in the context of perhaps law, or in the context of environmental law, for example, or ethics in a classroom. Because I believe some subjects, or some courses that you are teaching, some of it needed to be embedded with some kind of ethical value, professionalism and ethics value as one of our cost learning outcome to be embedded in our syllabus. And well, about ethics, students from this global learning session, from sharing from the uh, our professional affiliation with the university or industry outside of Malaysia, perhaps students can learn the importance of integrity and respects when working with peers from various culture. Let's say, for example, I had a session with someone from German, and even though this it was it from sorry, from France. Okay, from France. So even though at that time he was like currently working in France, but he served oil and gas industry, where he traveled like mostly to the Middle East. So he asked the students, when you see some people coming to you and asking for some food and all that, like in the middle of the night or in the evening, what will you do? And the students will, our students will naturally say, oh, we will. I mean, we have this kind of empathy, and we have to give and help them whatever we can. But he mentioned about the ethics over there. Unfortunately, it is not allowed. Even if you feel like, because I mean, as a normal human being, if people come to you and they say they are hungry, and you know that you are, you're having, ample of foods, that of course you will naturally, feel this empathy and try to help them. But ethically it is not right. Ethically it is not allowed, in Middle East while he was working in this oil and gas, because his company is a foreign company working in the Middle East. And the students were like quite shocked, because they are talking about empathy, and it seems to be, the opposite um, side of ethics from the from the way the foreign companies is telling these workers who are working in Middle East. Well, of course, he mentioned, like he explained, that as far as managing the risk management is concerned, it is not allowed, because that could trigger some kind of confrontation if, let's say, the foods that you are giving them cause them to suffer from food poisoning, for example, or according to the experience also, as far as risk management is concerned, they will not give this because they have previous experiences of this is their way of trying to trigger some kind of confrontation with the foreign companies over there. So that's why ethically they are not allowed at all to share foods or whatever with the local over there, because it is ethically wrong as far as their risk management program, because we are talking about risk management at that time, yeah, risk management program over there. So this could be an eye opener, because as I said just now, students will learn the importance of integrity, and of course respect this working environment, working conditions as part of the system, from the various cultures. And we are talking about two contrasting culture over there. This is just for the purpose of discussion. It is not like I am not telling this as 100% truth, but this is just relaying what our speakers have shared with us as far as the ethical ethical practices under the risk management modules or risk management system in the organization when they serve in the oil and gas company in the Middle East. And this is very important also, the third one, which is entrepreneurship, where these global exposures will be able to foster some kind of innovative mindset and help students identify opportunities that can be translated into entrepreneurial ventures. So I was telling the students the other day about, economically, well, Malaysia is quite lucky, because the water over there is like almost free. I mean, the source of water is almost free and it's quite cheap. But when we travel to, like European country, one small bottle of water costs us about at ringgit perhaps, if we convert. Of course, what is only 1.5 or 1.6 euro, but if we convert, it's going to be like very expensive. And the students say, "Oh, wow, that's a good opportunity for Malaysia to export water to this country." So I mean, as simple as this observation, sometimes we bring into the classroom will enhance students creativity. I'm talking about entrepreneurship just now, yeah. So well, as for the educators, what global learning, what we hope in global learning actually, is for the educators to play a crucial role in bringing this global perspective or global learning into life. So so much so that educators will encourage the students to incorporate international content, in the design of courses, or maybe in the delivery of courses. Like, so for example, in my case, I have designed an online or interactive ebook, and in that ebook, I incorporate case studies from outside of Malaysia, talking about risk management. So risk management, actually the subject is formulation context, but to create this to create this global learning contents into a classroom, I decided to create one case study, a real case study that happened in our neighboring country, and put it in our textbook. And of course, for the students, it's quite difficult, but I mean, that is the opportunity for us perhaps to call up someone from that country and come into our class for about 1 hour. So this global learning is not like 2 hours or 4 hours kind of session with the students. It could be like 30 minutes, 45 minutes with the. After all, we are not paying, so that's why we must get their agreement first whether they will be able to stay for 2 hours. But normally we will only call them for 1 hour, because we have to be a little bit cautious also, because we are not paying them. So as I said just now, it will be an opportunity for us to call someone there to explain what happened to that company, for example, in that case study, because the company went bankrupt, and they will discuss about it. So it is not to take out one portion of your syllabus and ask them to teach. No, this global learning is it's a complementary. So which means to say, as an educator, as a lecturer, we have to teach that the content of the syllabus, and then only we bring in someone from outside of our country to talk and to share about their perspective, the perspectives of this content in the country. It will be nice if you can find the content of your syllabus which carry some kind of like some kind of a comparative analysis. Like I have this one course whereby we need to do economic analysis of the regional country, economic analysis of developed country, and then economic analysis of developing countries. So I have the opportunity of thinking like, okay, who am I going to call from a developed country to talk about in the context of economic in a developed country, and try to highlight some kind of comparison in terms of the indicators and all that, the justification and the meaning of the indicators as compared to Malaysia, for example. But not need to go so far. Like, so for example, I have invited someone from Philippines to talk about the regional economic view with regard to ASEAN, and of course he specifically explained what is happening in the Philippines. And perhaps in the next session, about half an hour after this Philippines session, we call up someone from Indonesia, for example, and talk about the ASEAN, economic analysis about the ASEAN, from the ASEAN perspectives. So that will bring in, like, say, for example, you have in one session you have two global learning perspectives, one from Philippines and one from Indonesia, and students will be able to have some kind of input to analyze and to do some kind of comparative, and that input actually comes from the natives from that particular country. Of course, even without global learning, we can give this kind of input to the students from our reading, from our experience, from our traveling and all that to the students. But like, even like myself, the moment I said, oh, when I travel here or when I visited this country and try to share with them, they will feel like, nah, like he's trying to brag about his that he travel a lot and all that. So sometimes I feel I need to do something, like not all from us are seen to be that good, in the eyes of the students, because some of them will think that, the moment we say, oh, I've traveled to this place and I observed this and this, and that is the time when they say, oh, he's trying to show off and all that. So I'm not really sure, but that's how I feel. So that's why it's a good experience for me to invite someone from outside of the country and talk to the students, and the perspective and the students, how to say that, the like the ambience of the classroom is like totally different from my own classroom, where they can you know chat with the professor from outside of Malaysia, as compared to like direct chat with me. It's totally different. So this will benefit the students, because this kind of engagement, yeah, will expand the students' worldview. By, if possible, if we can have some peers from outside of countries, for example, the students from a university. Let's say, for example, this professor is giving us global learning session, and he invited his students to be in the classroom itself, to be in the classroom together with our students, so that we can have peer-to-peer interaction. But of course, this will take a longer time. But yeah, why not? Probably the first session we have the professor to be speaking, and of course, perhaps he will give some kind of takeaway for the students to think about. And in the next session, we just have student and student session, on their own, to discuss with the counterpart, with the peers outside of Malaysia. So I mean, this is another level of global learning lah. The main one, for the basic, we would like um, lecturers, I mean, our dear colleagues, to organize the global learning in our own classroom by taking a portion of your syllabus, which is not to replace your teaching um, hours with the students by bringing in someone to replace you. No, yeah, it's for you to have a complementary input from. So it's going to be supplementary, so it's complementary input from our professors of from industry outside of Malaysia. And when I said speakers, it could be from the industry, and it could be from the university, and which is in line with your syllabus. Okay? And for the students, the benefits for the students. Okay, wait. So I think I am a bit. Never mind. Never mind. For the students, this global learning, we believe that it can enhance the communication skills, because the opportunities for collaboration will definitely improve language skills, and of course the cross-cultural communication. And this, we believe, is quite essential for working in international context. So we have to think ahead, that students will be serving international companies in international contexts, even though they are working in Malaysia, for example. And of course, this global learning, if you are able to give them certificate to recognize, to acknowledge their participation, so probably this could be an advantage to the student's career, because, well, employers, I believe, will highly value the global competency. So they want to see some kind of, the word there, the term of global, so if you have like global learning certificate, so it will show some kind of global competencies that students have developed in a class. Uh, but of course, there must be some kind of input from us also, lah. Like, for example, we encourage them to do some kind of problem solving, like the examples that I gave you just now, and adaptability. And this is something that the workforce is trying to appreciate now. Adaptability, and of course collaborative spirits. Yeah. And students can also, because this is a new exposure to many of them, I think. Like I said just now, probably 90% of our students are underserved, who have no privilege of going outside of the country for an educational trip or educational visit for academic purpose. So by having this global learning, I believe that this could be good to the students, benefit the students as personal growth. Yeah, which is to expose the students to new ideas and challenges, which builds confidence, I believe, and encourages lifelong learning. And that's our um, team, right? Okay. As far as lecturers is concerned, we have this collaborative teaching, okay, as one of the components of our in our LMPT, right? Mm. And global learning is here. It is in band 5 in collaborative teaching, pengajaran collaborative, because we are talking about antara negara. Okay, it's here antara negara, global learning. So automatically you will get band 5 and you will get that 20%, right? Okay. So this is the thing that I have mentioned earlier on. Sorry, my slide was like quite slow. Then things. So okay, how do we do it? Okay, how do we do it? Of course, the first thing is to plan. Okay, um, we can focus on the session in your lesson plan. Let's say, for example, like I mentioned earlier on, you have 5 contents or 5 topics in your lesson plan, and in one of these topics, right, you have some kind of a case study, for example, or a comparative studies, or comparing native speaker as compared to, I mean, for language, academic pengajian bahasa, you have ample of opportunities to organize global learning, because you have this, advantage of like learning language, and try to make comparison with the native speaker and the non-native speakers and all that. Okay, so in one of those components, you can call someone from outside of Malaysia to come into your class and share their experience with regard to that content. So it is not necessary to be like one whole topic. After all, we cannot cover that in 1 hour, right? So I mean, a small components. What makes it to be a good learning experience for the students is that the engagement, you know, the foreign context of that knowledge, where the students can think and can do some kind of comparison. And of course, the discussion will not stop there. The professors will be giving their input, which is necessary, which is relevant to their country, for example. And in our global learning session, after that, okay, we will have discussion with the students, open discussion, or it could be during a tutorial, and discuss about what are, I mean, to do the comparative analysis. So, for example, or what are the differences, or what are the alien things about, or what are the new things that you learn that you have not seen before in the context of our learning setting, or in our country, and then to discuss positively, to discuss academically, whether it will affect or not affect the context of the syllabus. It doesn't matter. The thing is that we want to have a kind of, like I mentioned just now, creative, and of course enhance the language skills of our students, because we are talking about a cross-cultural kind of communication in this case, and probably to for them to identify certain points, because we have to touch a bit on entrepreneurial skills also. No matter what subjects, I believe in in each and every programs, we have to hit entrepreneurial skills, if I'm mistaken, or ethics or professionalism as one of the output of our course learning outcome, right? So um, try to find some avenue for the students to be able to pick up some kind of entrepreneurial skills. It is not totally out of our subject or course, even if you are teaching engineering and all that, yeah. Because as I said just now, in every programs, I believe there must be one or two subjects which must hit this, you know, outcome, course learning outcome on entrepreneurial skills and all that. Okay, so examples of global learning initiative that we can do, as I said just now, it for a higher level students, it could be cross-border research collaboration, whereby you will have research projects that involve international partners, which allow your students to contribute to study with global impact. But of course, students are still with you here in Malaysia. It's just that the probably the data or just a partner from there to collaborate with. So this is at a higher level. For a diploma or degree level, like I said just now, what we normally do here is to invite someone from outside of the country. Those days during, I mean, before the pandemic, of course, we can bring them in. You know, like say for example, we have invited um, the staff from the embassy in Kuala Lumpur to come over, and they'll bring normally they'll bring two or three staff with them to come over to our class. Uh, and when I say embassy, they are working here in Malaysia, but they are not Malaysian. So this could also be a global learning. So it is not necessarily to be like uh, a strict situation whereby you need to invite you need to bring in this person right from outside of Malaysia. No, they can be within Malaysia, but they are not Malaysian. They are working like I mentioned just now in the embassy, or they could be working in a foreign company in Malaysia as a consultant, for example, a manager or executive, but a foreign company. Okay, uh, and you can invite them physically or online to come over to your class and have this kind of global learning session with your students. And this can also happen. I mean, someone asked me also last time that can we bring in someone from, I mean, this person is outside of Malaysia. Let's say, for example, this person is serving in Bank Negara Malaysia in the US. Where was that? US or UK? In the US. But our own, Malaysian serving in a Malaysian company in the US. As long as this person has an experience of, let's say, 3 years and above, which is an adequate period of working experience or exposure in that country, even though he is a Malaysian, we can call them and bring them into our classroom as long as they have that kind of experience. Because we want, and this is quite interesting also. Why? Because most of them will have this both perspective stuff. So what they can do in the class, they will straight away introduce or highlight, oh, this is what happened here, but it's not happening there. Or this is not right over there, but it is ethically all right here, you know. And of course, sometimes they will also discuss, actually, we should have this embedded into our system over there in Malaysia. So it's going to be like an easy, how to call it, easy, discussion and conversation with the students in your classroom, because, as I said, they have this comparative, and I mean naturally made this comparative analysis already, as they work in a foreign country, and they are upholding onto their values, for example, as Malaysian, working in international context. So so this is what we call, what was that? This is what we call global webinars, global learning webinars or workshop, which is held online. And I must say here that this kind of webinar, I sometimes I notice and it's quite sad when lecturers send their project implementation and their short. I mean, of course, they have to send the videos, and after we have analyzed, after have evaluated it, it is not that global learning session that we envision, because it is just a lecture, and I can sense that that lecture is to replace that lecturer's contribution in the syllabus, so much so that he is doing it for collaborative teaching per se. Of course we have to do this pembelajaran collaborative kan, collaborative teaching, but global learning is beyond that class, collaborative teaching class of replacing the lecturer in a collaboration, in a collaborative effort to replace the lecturer's part or portion in the syllabus and deliver that portion to the student without any interaction, without any interactive, session with the students. So it is a one-way kind of communication, and they have like 300 students joining in that webinar. So it doesn't hit the intention of global learning. Global learning is like a small kind of session where students are really have this interaction. The session must be interactive, I must say, and a two-way kind of communication with the speakers that we have invited, and not a mass lecture as in collaborative teaching. But of course, you can do that, but it is not a global learning lah. It will fall under collaborative teaching. Okay, so again, as I said just now, it could be someone from outside of Malaysia, and it could be a Malaysian working outside of Malaysia with adequate experience for about 3-4 years over there, so that he can bring in some foreign international input to our students. Okay, so that initiative, I can call it could be the global learning webinars, global learning workshops. This is an example or international guest lecturers under this initiative, because I believe many of us still have this week without walls kind of thing, so we can bring in, during that week without walls week, we can bring in someone from the industry outside of Malaysia, or could be the industry within Malaysia, but the speaker must be non-Malaysian. And what did I mention earlier on? Oh, the cross-border research collaboration. But of course, this will, as I say, will depend on the level of students they are teaching. So this cross-border research collaboration can be maybe at a master level or postgraduate level, where we have research projects that involve, as I say just now, international partners, so that will allow your students to contribute to study with global impact. I have done this but this is just actually to benefit that university. I have developed an ebook, and this ebook is about strategic risk management research. So the lecturers in that particular university, since this is an ebook and this is easily accessible, so say you want to adopt this to their postgraduate students over there. So that makes them to be to be the benefit of the global learning from my perspective lah kan, because they are using my ebook, and they use this ebook in their classroom, and of course, that ebook is about research actually on strategic risk management. You know, so as I said just now, indirectly we are actually helping them to have this global learning in their context. So this in turn, okay, uh, how to say, provide me the opportunity of inviting their students to join my class and have the same discussion in doing that strategic risk management research, and do this comparative analysis. So we have a data from this country and data of this country done by my student, and data from the country done by their students, and now the students sit together virtually and try to do a comparative analysis of the research of the same nature, but with different data. So I mean that's another level of cross-border research collaboration under this global learning. Not necessarily to be like limited to bringing in a lecturer, coming to your, I mean, a lecturer from other university coming to your class, coming and teach your students, but it can also be peer-to-peer collaboration with the students as well. Okay, so I'll leave these notes to you. So actually, I wanted to share. Like give me like 1 minute to share the link where you can have your. How do I go about? I forgot about this. Are you still with me? So you can scan this barcode, and it will lead you to a link. Are you able to do that? Are you able to? Oh yeah. So
Yes, okay.
okay, after you have scanned that, it will lead you to my Google Drive, and you will see this list. Are you able to do that? Are you able to see my projection? Or uh, okay, sorry. I need to change my. Okay, wait, yeah, I need to change my view. Is it? I'm supposed to entire screen. Are you able to see my screen?
No.
Actually, it is showing the contents of my Google Drive, where you can find all the materials that I have shared here, and all the materials that can help you to start off with your global learning. Are you able to see the list? If
Excuse
not,
me, doctor. It
I'll share it
leads
with you
to
again
Google
one more
Form.
time. So I copy the link and I put it in your. Because I couldn't see my. Is it working? Wait. Let me do. Give me 1 more minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. Um, I share. I copy the link and I wrongly press it. I'm supposed to paste. So this link in your chat, okay, the one that you can find in your chat, if you click on it, it will lead you to this Google Drive. The content of the Google Drive, there are about more than 10 materials that you can go through, and you can start off with maybe you can start off with Kertas Kerja. So I have two version of it, PDF and in Words. So you can straight away use the Kertas Kerja for you to apply for this for you to apply the approval for your global learning session. by all means, because we need to get the approval to bring in, you know, someone outside of the outside of I mean, someone outside, someone to invite someone outside to come over to a class. We must get that. And I have also, like, those of you who are like totally new in this, and I mean, how am I going to get someone, you know, from outside to come over to my class? I have also I mean, we have also shared, you know, first time step by steps, tips for first time approach. And you can and we have also shared an email, a simple email, you know, just like what must you put in your email to start off your conversation, to invite them to come over to your class. And for the first timers also, most important thing is that um, you must have this global network, um, global network with professionals, with, I mean, with, because you want to invite someone from, you know, outside of Malaysia, right? So how am I going to be able to identify them? So we have these slides for you here. You can go through it, but I benefit most from research. What do you call that? There's academia, and also LinkedIn. I benefited a lot from LinkedIn actually. Okay, it's very easy for you to be able to communicate with someone, and surprisingly, these people. I mean, most of the time, I receive positive reply from them. You know, it's just like, just identify yourself, simply identify yourself, and your intention of bringing them, and put you must emphasize the word voluntarily, because we are not paying. Yeah, most of the time we are not paying the speakers, so it must be of a voluntarily basis, and you must consider also the time. Okay, especially when the time zone is, you know, the gap is quite far. So I have also outlined some terms and conditions for conducting global learning. You can go through. I have to stop in a few minutes because I have to give ways to the other a colleague of mine in a CIDL who will be talking about Internet of Things at 3 p.m. So you can go through the terms and conditions. What is the purpose and the scope of this global learning, and what kind of compliance, basic compliance lah, with regard to the UITM education standard that you must fulfill, and the participant eligibility, and educators' responsibility, which is your responsibility. So I have outlined some of it so that we will not create some kind of you know, untoward or unwanted session in our class. You know, by all means, our intention is to benefit the students, and the content must be in line with your syllabus. Just to make it short lah, for you to understand, especially those who are doing this for the first time, and to respect the speakers, you know, what I call it, uh, privacy, to protect the speaker's privacy and all that. Yeah, and if you have no time to read or to go through the slides, because I have like 78 pages, you can go through these short notes also in this Google Drive. What else? Oh, okay. You can also look at, because you need to create a poster. You know, I mean, this is for the purpose of reporting. So for ease of reference, I have also included a template, a very simple template of what are the things that you must put into your templates, and you can use Canva and all that to improve lah. But at least you are having some basic what do you call that, informational notes that you must put into your poster, so that it can show that you are doing a global learning session. Yeah, so the word global learning must be there, and what are the things that you must put in. So sorry, and have that in this Google Drive. So I think that's about all. As I said, I have about 78 pages. You can go through the slides later on, and I believe the link to this presentation will be shared with you later, because I have to let you go to join the other collaborative group session after this. So now I am able to see the chat. I'm so sorry, I wasn't able just now to see. Have okay. Is there any questions that I must? Okay. About the documents reports has been submitted to the provided Google Form link upon completion of the in this Google Drive. Submission of the submission of the reports and submission of the implementation report of project implementation, and some kind of some links to your videos so during the session can be uploaded into my Google Drive later, and we will do evaluation to those session, a global learning session, and will award a certificate of recognition later, normally at the end of the semester. Yeah, thank you. So the process is just like the collaborative teaching, because collaborative teaching, what do you call that? Collaborative group is an umbrella to all the collaborative group in CIDL for the recognition of collaborative teaching. So global learning is a collaborative teaching, a collaboration with a speaker from outside of Malaysia. So definitely it is a collaborative teaching. So you can register it under collaborative teaching, and you can register it to under global learning, and you can register it both. So some friends, some colleagues, they like to register it both, so they can get two certificates. So one certificate is for LNPT, and another certificate is for accolades, or for students, what do you call it, pembangunan pelajar, because this is considered to be as part of pembangunan pelajar, so they can get two certificates for that. Thank you very much, and salam sejahtera. So I have to end it here, and I wish you all the best in implementing your global learning. And you can, as I suggested, you can get to my Google Drive to get all the informations and the slides. And I have also included my contact, and you can also email me anytime. Thank you very much. Salam sejahtera. Yeah, please join the other webinar from Internet of Things Collaborative Group, another webinar, which is using the different link. So you may leave now. Ada 1 jam lagi.